What's up, guys? We're in our beginning VJJ playlist. We're going to talk about one of the worst positions that you'll find yourself in when you're a white belt, especially, just when you're starting out. You're going to run into some wrestler that knows this move. Some people call it a scarf hold. Some people call it, you guys just call it headlock, right? Trash compactor, I've heard it called that as well. But it's a position that's kind of like side control, but it has the ability to put a chest compression on you to the point where you feel like you're strangled, right? So what this looks like is if I'm laying on the ground and Adam comes in and he has a headlock and he has my arm up above my head, and then he leans back and he brings my chin to my chest and I can barely talk and I'm gonna get strangled, or it feels like your chest is about to explode. This can be a terrible position, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're just starting, you've been tapped by this. So this is actually really simple to get out of. But we'll start with first things first. What I don't want is my arm controlled in any way. So when I get into this position, I can't have it above my head, okay? What I need to do is try to get it back to the floor and have my elbow on the floor in front of Adam's hips. So I want my elbow here. He wants it up high. And so when he's doing this, it can be difficult to just start moving it down, right? But what we can do is called penduluming. So I'm gonna take my legs and I'm just gonna start moving like an L shape. As I move in like an L shape out here, I'm just gonna start doing enough to the point where I feel like I can start swinging my hips in this direction. When I go 1, 2, 3, 4, swing my hips in this direction, I can pull my elbow to the floor. Now that my elbow's to the floor, this is gonna facilitate a lot of different escapes that we'll have options to do in a moment. But we get here, again, we need to get this to the floor. So I go 1, 2, 3, swing my hips out and get my elbow to the floor, okay? If I can't do that one, like maybe he's holding onto my arm, I can go and post in his bicep with my other hand and pull it down, okay? So he's holding onto it, post in his bicep, pull it down to the floor. So you might be asking yourself, like, why do we care about the ability to bring the elbow to the floor? Well, it's because if I have my elbow to the floor, 1, it starts to ruin the integrity of his submission on me. And 2, I'm gonna go and do a dilemma between sitting up and getting a side guard. So if I have my hand in here, what I can do is, he has no post behind him. We gotta start thinking about jiu-jitsu in this way, guys. Every time somebody takes a stance, there's always a weakness in the stance. And Adam's weakness in this stance is that he has no post behind him. So if I bring my hips out in this direction slightly, and I just do a sit-up, and he does nothing, I can literally just reverse the position and end up on top, right? So again, we have these two frames, we just bring our hips out. It's the easiest thing in the world. I just sit up. Now, are people gonna let you do that? No. But what are they gonna have to do? They're gonna have to square their hips back up. So when I go to do this, Adam squares his hips up, and as he does, he goes back to 2 knees, like a regular side control. And when he does, I made space with my elbow on the floor, and now I can connect my knee and my elbow and go into side guards, just like we talk about side guards extensively in the Zero Cost mini course. You can check that out at the link in bio if you guys are interested in more techniques about how to get out of some of the worst positions in the sport. Totally free, check it out today after this video. But again, I'm looking to get my elbow to the floor in some fashion. So I can go penduluming out, I could go pendulum, bring my elbow to the floor, or I could post in his bicep and bring it to the floor this way. Then I want to try to come into like an X formation with him. I don't want to be right here. It makes it harder for me to sit up. I want all my force going into his chest where he has no post. So I go this way, and then I sit up. And we can just bring him over like that if he does nothing. But most people are going to square back up onto both knees. And now when he does, my elbow positioning made it so I had all the inside position, and I could bring my knee and connect them. And now we can start to go into all kinds of different attacks out of here, like triangles and things like that. Now, you might be asking, like, what do I do if I can't get my arm free? And they're starting to put this trash compactor on me, and it feels like hell, right? So this is funny because there's really, like, you're gonna be like, why did I not think of this? But it's a really easy way to stop this from happening to you. So when Adam goes and does this, this is a good example of how we want to be as jiu-jitsu athletes, is we want to be high-level problem solvers. We want to reverse engineer the strengths of a technique to take them away. So when he's trying to do this, how do you think I'm getting finished? I'm getting finished because he can bring my head up and he can lean backwards. So will he be able to finish this technique if he can't lean backwards? Try to finish this without leaning backwards. It just feels like, this feels like nothing, right? So if I can find a way to keep him from leaning backwards, we have the ability to stop this submission. So the way we're gonna do this is by putting one knee on the ground, or one foot on the floor here. We're gonna put the other foot on top of our knee, and I'm gonna put it behind his back, his upper back, as a wedge. Now Adam tries to lean backwards. Really try. He literally cannot put his body weight back far enough to put enough pressure on me to finish me here. So even if the guy is like dead set on killing you with this move, they just can't. They physically cannot do this, right? Because they can't put their knee on the floor. And to address this, you'd have to let go of the grips, and then we can start going back to the floor again, and we might even take his back out of here. So the ability to put a wedge behind his back is invaluable. I just put my foot right here, and now try to go back and lean. He can't do it, right? I'll never get finished like this. Worst comes to worst, you get stalled out in this position, the guy doesn't know where to go, and you have more time to get your arm to the floor, and then we start going to our other moves to bring him over. He squares up, we bring our side guard in, and we start getting out of the position, and you're not gonna get finished by that stupid move anymore. So, you guys have any questions or concerns about this technique, let me know. As always, I'm glad to teach you guys, and my name's Eddie with Crash and Flow BJJ. It's Adam with Wrestling University. I'll see you guys on the mats.